Good morning, everyone. In this video, I will introduce a proposal to fundamentally redesign Pakistan's political system. Calling it a reform would be an understatement. It is, in essence, a complete restructuring of the state's governance framework. The objective is to establish a stronger, more stable, and more efficient system capable of addressing the country's long-term challenges. Pakistan currently operates under a parliamentary democratic system, which in my assessment has struggled to provide the political stability, institutional effectiveness, and long-term policy continuity needed to address many of the country's persistent problems. Today, Pakistan continues to face numerous challenges, including terrorism, political instability, economic mismanagement, corruption, weak institutions, and recurring governance failures. These issues have in many ways limited the state's ability to achieve sustainable development and maintain consistent national progress. To address these deep-rooted structural problems, I have designed an entirely new model of governance, one that seeks to reform the state's institutions, strengthen accountability, improve administrative efficiency, and provide greater political stability. I call this system Nizam-e-Riyasat-e-Islamiya, or the Islamic State System. It is a presidential-technocratic model that combines strong central leadership with governance by qualified professionals. Rather than relying exclusively on elected politicians to manage the executive branch, this model places greater emphasis on expertise, institutional continuity, and long-term national planning. The ultimate objective is to build a state that is efficient, accountable, resilient, and capable of making long-term decisions without being constantly disrupted by political crises. Before examining the individual institutions and powers of this system, it is important to first understand its overall structure and the governing bodies that makes it function. So what exactly is Nizam-e-Riyasat-e-Islamiya? As mentioned earlier, it is a presidential technocratic model of governance that emphasizes strong central leadership, institutional stability, and administration by qualified professionals, rather than relying solely on elected politicians to manage the executive branch. The system is built around three principal governing bodies: the President, the Executive Bench, and the General Bench. The President serves as the head of both benches, ensuring unity of command and coordination across the executive bench. Each, each bench is made up of two specialized councils, as illustrated in the following diagram. The executive bench consists of Security Council and the Council of Governance, which are responsible for national security, strategic planning, and executive decision-making. The general bench consists of House of Ministers and the House of Commissioners, which oversees policy implementation, public administration, and day-to-day functioning of the state. Together, the executive bench and the general bench constitute the cabinet of the state. The President. The President serves as the head of state and the highest executive authority within the Nizam-e-Riyasat-e-Islamiya. As the chief executive, the President is responsible for providing national leadership, maintaining institutional coordination, and making the state's most significant executive decisions. The President also serves as the head of Pakistan's Service Surveillance and Intelligence Agency, short for PSSIA. This agency is responsible for monitoring the performance, conduct, and accountability of cabinet members and reporting its findings directly to the President. Its primary purpose is to strengthen transparency, oversight, and institutional accountability within the cabinet. The executive bench. The executive branch is the state's principal executive body, responsible for national security, strategic planning, and high-level executive decision-making. It is chaired by the President and consists of two councils, the Security Council and the Council of Governance. The Security Council. The Security Council is responsible for matters relating to national defense, intelligence, internal security, and strategic military affairs. It consists of 10 members: Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Navy Staff, Chief of Air Staff, DGISI, DGMI, DGPSSIA, DG National Intelligence, Chief of National Defense Production, Commander of the National Strategic Command, and the Police Chief. Together, these members advise the President on matters concerning national security and defense policy. Council of Governance. The Council of Governance serves as the state's highest executive policy-making body. It is responsible for formulating national policies, coordinating executive administration, and overseeing the country's overall governance. Like the Security Council, it also consists of 10 members, which are Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Information Minister, Finance Minister, Interior Minister, Defense Minister, Law Minister, Chief Justice, Chief Commissioner, and the National Security Advisor. By bringing together the country's principal executive and administrative leadership, the Council ensures coordinated policy development and effective governance. The General Bench. The General Bench is the second bench of the Cabinet and is primarily responsible for public administration and implementing the policies approved by the Executive Bench. It consists of two subordinate bodies, the House of Ministers and the House of Commissioners. Although the President formally chairs the General Bench, its daily operations are led jointly by the Prime Minister, who heads the House of Ministers, and the Chief Commissioner, who heads the House of Commissioners. House of Ministers. The House of Ministers consists of 20 important ministries, each headed by a minister responsible for developing policies and managing their respective sectors in accordance with the state's national objectives. While every ministry operates within its own area of responsibility, all ministries work collectively to achieve the broader goals established by the state. These ministries include Planning Commission, Cabinet Division, Ministry of Human Resources, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Infrastructure and Development, Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Natural Resources, Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Research and Development, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Marine Affairs, Ministry of Commerce and Trade, Ministry of Science and Technology, Ministry of Islamic Affairs, Ministry of Social Welfare, Ministry of Labor and Human Rights, and the Ministry of Miscellaneous Affairs. House of Commissioners. The House of Commissioners serves as the state's administrative arm and is responsible for implementing government policies throughout the country. Under this model, the primary administrative structure is based on divisions. Provinces continues to exist for historical purposes, but executive administration is carried out through the divisional system. The House of Commissioners is headed by the Chief Commissioner, under whom serves the 37 divisional commissioners, is each responsible for administrating one division. Unlike the present system, the divisional commissioners are not permanent civil servants. Instead, they are appointed to fixed terms because their responsibilities are comparable to those of a provincial governor. requiring executive leadership rather than routine administration. Police and other security services and agencies cooperate closely with the divisional commissioner while remaining under their own professional chains of commands. The administrative hierarchy begins with the chief commissioner, followed by division commissioner, a deputy commissioner, assistant commissioner, and continues down to the union council level. With the exception of chief commissioner and divisional commissioners, all administrative officers are permanent civil service servants recruited through competitive examinations. Constitution. The Constitution of Nizam-e-Riyasat-e-Islamiya is divided into three principal sections: Objective Guideline, State of Affairs, and the General Guideline. The Objective Guideline established the state's fundamental principles, values, and long-term objectives. These constitutional foundations are permanent and cannot be amended under any circumstances. The State of Affairs. The State of Affairs defines the structures, powers, and responsibilities and administration of the state's institutions. Unlike the Objective Guideline, this provision may be amended whenever necessary to meet the evolving needs of the nation. The General Guideline. The General Guideline contains the laws and regulations governing every aspect of national life, including criminal law, civil law, economic affairs, public administration, social conduct, individual rights, and public responsibilities. Its purpose is to ensure justice, equality before the law, social order, and the effective functioning of the state.